Hello, welcome to How to Play 7 Pies, a game for one player. This game comes from Paget.com under the Invented section. This is a great resource for card games invented by common folk, are traditional, and hundreds of years old. So if you want to explore Paget and find a game that you want me to demonstrate, let me know in the comments. I just showed you a quick readout of the rules, or a write-up of the rules. The actual rules from Paget will be in the description. It's linked there, so if you want to, you can view those rules there and read them. So each time you start the game off, you can put any domino down. You're trying to build pies. There are 7 possible pies that you can build. A pie consists of 4 dominoes in the shape of the Greek letter pi. And if those of you who've ever attended a math class and had to find the area of a circle, you're familiar with this shape. So each time we play a domino, we can play it either horizontally or vertically. Whatever position we lay it in, we must leave it in that position. And each turn we must be able to play at least one domino. And if we are unable to play one domino, that turn is over and the game ends. So you're allowed to start a pie, build on a pie, play one domino to a pie to start it, play 2 dominoes to a pie to start it, or play all 3 dominoes to a pie. And then once your turn's over, you draw back to 3. So if you only played 1, you'd only draw 1 domino. If you played 2, you'd draw 2 dominoes. Pretty obvious, and of course if you played all 3, you get 3 new dominoes. Determining and strategizing on this game is somewhat difficult because you're never quite sure of what's going to be possible on the draw. Now, you can ascertain the suits, but you have to think of suits in a different way than your standard deck of cards, which is somewhat, if you're not familiar with double 6 dominoes, at least not expertly and intimately familiar, it's going to be somewhat difficult. It was for me. I'm not, my brain has not really trained on a double 6 set, so I was having to count quite often, knowing that there were basically 7 dominoes in the 6th suit, and then subsequently less for each suit below that. There'd be 6 in the 5, 5 in the 4, 4 in the 3, and of course 3 in the 2 and 2 in the 1, and there's only 1 double blank domino. And that is something to get used to in this game, which I immediately, after playing it for the first time and more or less worrying about messing up a rule in the administration process of the game, didn't quite have a good strategy on how to beat it. Now here I gave up. I probably could have achieved perfection there, but I gave up early. I didn't start the 7th pie yet, and I could have. So that was a mistake on my part. I think I was a little nervous about filming and trying not to mess up, while at the same time also trying to get a perfect score in this. So yeah, once you play a domino down, whatever position you leave it in, if you leave it vertical, you could start a pie off vertically. Now that wouldn't be wise because that reduces your chances there. Again, I gave up early. I had a legal play, but for whatever reason just did not take it. So you can play a domino vertically, but doing so you have to know that it reduces your chances of having a legal play. So a lot of times you're starting out horizontally. It might be a worthy strategy to do the pie vertically first, to put one of the legs or both of the legs down, and then putting the center pieces in next. However you want to do it, doesn't matter. What really matters is getting all 7 pies done. If you can achieve 7 pies, then you have beaten the game. And as far as if you can beat it several times in a row, that I don't know. What I do know is when I had to make a demonstration picture of me getting all 7 pies, which, spoiler alert, I managed not to do this day because I am new to this game and I'm completely unfamiliar with it. So there are 4. I have 1 domino left over. That's my score, is 1 domino. So when even doing the 7 pies with everything face up and trying to make it work, it was still a difficult process even there. So the difficulties really added when you cannot see what's coming. So each game is going to be different because of that. The shuffling of the dominoes, you never know which 3 dominoes you're going to start with. and you're not too sure what's possible, if you're not familiar with the suits of the dominoes, if you can't really think in those terms, it's somewhat difficult. You're going to have to train on how many dominoes in each suit are available on the table when you're ascertaining whether or not you can get perfection and you're trying to come up with a strategy. That part becomes somewhat difficult to know what's the best course of action on building that 7th suit. I think the 7th suit is what has gotten me on this game so far. I mean, obviously I have only played it for less than a day, so I haven't really spent that many hours with it, and therefore I have no legal plays, so I had 3 points at the end. So here's my picture of the perfection. Of course, I had to modify this. Even with face up, it was somewhat difficult, and that's, I think, the appeal of this game, is that if you wanted to play it competitively against somebody else, you could take turns. You could maybe set the game condition for whoever gets the first player to get 10 points, they lose the game. So it's not necessarily completely a solitaire. You can play this competitively, and if you want to play it competitively, come to the subreddit card game meetups, post your city, post what games you know or what want to learn or what games you want to play, and hopefully one day when we get more than 182 members, somebody in your city will want to meet up in a public place and play some cards or dominoes or dice games. So definitely come and post